Welcome back to the table. I'm Kim Ganassin. We're going to start a series today about dreaming. Everybody wants to know, what was that dream about? You know, everyone's curious about dreams. Human beings have been curious about them throughout the history of human dreams. So here's my perspective on it, and I've been looking at dreams for a long time, and I want to talk about dreams from the perspective of dimensional consciousness, because that's really what it's all about. Okay, so we're going to talk about the 3D dreaming experience and beyond in this series. This particular video starts us off, and I want to make sure that I let you know right off the bat that this is some of the ways that people dream, and it certainly is not all inclusive, but this is a good place to start if you're looking to understand your consciousness as you are sleeping, because definitely I want you to understand that your consciousness is still very, very active while your human brain is asleep in some portions. Okay? Alright, so three-dimensional dreaming starts like this. Here you have your physical body all snuggy in your bed, getting ready to fall asleep. You've got your nervous system, meaning your brain and your spine, and all the little nerves branched out throughout your body. The spine being more receptive, and the brain being more analytical. Okay? So, you've got your 3D body in your 3D bed with your 3D nervous system that is capable of feeling everything up and down your spectrum of consciousness. Okay? And while you're falling asleep, I want to invite you to start becoming more aware of what are the last thoughts in your mind while you're falling asleep, right before you fall asleep. Okay? Now, if you're stressed out from your job or, what have you, all the millions of ways that we get stressed out on this planet, if you're thinking about that, then that's likely what you're going to dream about. Okay? You're going to have stress dreams. And your dreams will be primarily third-dimensional, brain and consciousness replaying of tapes. Okay? So if you go to sleep and you take a few deep breaths, okay, you bring yourself into your nervous system as the last thing that you do before you fall asleep. You take a few breaths and you say, you know what, I'm going to be my spine and my brain and just my little nerves laying in this bed, all comfy, warm blankets, comfortable mattress, nice little pillow, deep breath. I'm going to let everything else go, and I'm going to bring my consciousness to the doorway, okay, which is the nervous system. Allow yourself to come to the nervous system before you go to sleep. Now, if you can do that, then what's going to happen is you're going to start seeing some pictures right before you go into sleep, right before you lose your lucid consciousness, okay, your lucidity. You're going to start to see some pictures. And I invite you to take those pictures seriously. I invite you to wake up in the morning and think to yourself, okay, what were those pictures that I saw? And write them down. Okay, because you might find that they fall in line with certain themes. Okay? You are much more likely to have dreams that are truly blended into the fourth dimension, or even lucid fifth dimension dreams, if you allow yourself to come to your nervous system intentionally before you fall asleep. Okay. Three-dimensional dreams tend to be playing tapes. Old experiences. Happy, sad, scary. If they made an impression, it's just replaying of tapes, okay? If you've been stressed out at work and you go to sleep thinking about that, You're going to have stress dreams, whether you remember them or not. You just might have an impression that I didn't sleep very good, I couldn't get comfortable, and being not physically comfortable can be a metaphor for not being psychologically comfortable, not feeling safe, not being at peace, basically. And sometimes dreams are just feelings that make an impression, but are not actually pictures or scenes. That's really your nervous system playing itself out as a third dimension consciousness that night. Okay? Now, sometimes you do remember your third dimensional consciousness dreams, right? And look for whether or not in your dream where there is a scenario that you're moving through and you remember that scenario when you wake up, ask yourself if in the role that you are playing in that dream, if you have the ability to reflect upon yourself. Okay? Reflecting upon yourself means that you've got a little bit of your 4D consciousness going on. Okay? It's not just a replaying of tapes. Okay, but if you're in the dream and you are just moving through a scenario without really thinking about it, without much of a of a sense that you can reflect upon the larger picture and reflect upon what you are doing there and why. Sometimes you wake up out of a dream, or excuse me, sometimes you're in a dream and you say to yourself, what am I doing here? What is this place? What? Okay, that is sort of a second order objectivity that you can have in a third dimensional consciousness dream that is mixed in with a little bit of your fourth dimensional consciousness. That's kind of the bridge there. Okay? So third dimensional dreams that are not lucid, they do not reflect your ability to take an objective position in the dream, reflect upon your role in the dream, or if they are replaying old experiences or just trying to release stress that you've gone through recently, perhaps that day. Okay, those are all basic standard third dimensional dreams. Okay? Now, in the next video, I'm going to talk about moving into fourth dimensional dreaming. Okay? And so we're going to start off right now by me telling you that if in your state of consciousness just before you fall asleep, if you've been able to bring yourself and your nervous system into a place of peace, all right, letting go of a lot of the stresses of life that day, you might have dreams or start a dream right at the end of your consciousness that involves you lifting upwards. Okay, your body moving upwards. And there's a number of scenarios that have been recurrent throughout my life. In my adult life, it's been mostly I'm falling asleep and I feel this ascension feeling start in my body. And my brain turns it into a picture of I'm sitting in an airplane and the airplane is starting to ascend. And so now I know whenever I feel that feeling that I'm starting to ascend and I feel myself, maybe I'm in an airplane and I can see an airplane and I start lifting up, I know that's me moving beyond third dimensional consciousness in my sleep. Okay? Previously, it was I could see the moon as I was falling asleep, and the moonbeams, the light from the moon, were coming down and contacting me, and they were drawing me up to the moon. And I got that same feeling in my stomach that I was getting drawn upwards, but the scene around it, my brain turned it into the moonbeams are drawing me up into the heavens. Okay? Think about it. Think about if you have any scenes of moving upwards as you're dreaming. That is really you ascending, so to speak, through the 4D zone over the earth, and anything that you would be remembering when you wake up from that point on after moving upwards, you can be pretty sure that it would be a 4D or 5D dream that you're remembering. And of course those are not really dreams, because that's just your consciousness being your consciousness, while your 3D mind is asleep and recording it differently than it records stimulus on a daily basis in your 3D life. Okay? Alright, so we're going to move on to 4D in the next video, and then the 5D experience of dreaming. And so I hope you'll stay tuned for both of those. Thanks for being here. I'll see you next time. Take care.